what's up? What creates true longevity in the music industry is replay value. It's not always about your image. Yes, your image helps because it's easy to sell an image if you're marketed right. We see that now with Latto and Ice Spice. I definitely think these girls have become more of a brand than an artist. Once these labels felt like it was easier to take people from social media and market them, they got lazy and they thought they cracked the cheat code to the music industry. We saw this happen during the SoundCloud era. That era opened a door that made it easy to get into the music industry. They already had an image, they already had a sound, and became a new wave. The industry didn't have to help them because they were already there. A lot of rappers made it, but eventually a lot have fallen off also. Talent will always win, and a lot of rappers that fell off didn't grow huge fan bases that weren't based off anything but hype. Yeah, there are Rolling Loud and all these big stages as guest performers, but when it comes to doing it on their own, a lot of huge artists are having problems filling up arenas. They can't do a solo tour because they don't have people listening to their music. Your image can only help you so much until it hits a point that when it really comes to making money, the industry is falling short. As much as the internet wants us to believe that some artists are as big as they are, nothing will truly put that to the test than selling out a tour. Nothing will shut the haters down than selling out an arena by yourself, doing a tour, selling thousands of tickets by yourself. Everybody wants to hate Chris Brown online because of his past behavior. Everybody has their own sentiments and that's okay. But the internet has a habit of bullying people for being fans of Chris Brown. And you guys have to realize that nobody gives a fuck. There are people who can separate the art from the artist. Chris Brown is talented. He is talented. Victoria Monet got criticized for going to his concert, and honestly, who cares? Because behind her were thousands of others there. Chris Brown, as much as people love to hate him online, he earned $9 million from just 3 shows from his 11/11 tour. $9 million. The online hate does not translate to reality. Just because there's a hyper promotion on certain artists doesn't mean that they're really on people's minds. NBA YoungBoy, as problematic as he is actually a good artist. Ignore his viral singles like Through the Storm or TTG. NBA YoungBoy can actually make music. He has solid albums, some that got virtually no recognition on the charts. Some of his albums have no videos, got no promo, no nothing. But you know what happened? He sold. He was a #1 artist on YouTube. Like, people are genuinely going to listen to NBA YoungBoy's music. Even the albums that got no promo, for his fans, it's considered an underrated gem. NBA YoungBoy doesn't need chart success because he has genuine fans. He's constantly releasing music even though he's been on house arrest for years now. He's still able to sell records without doing any promo for it. Right now, in 2024, Drake, SZA, and NBA YoungBoy have all landed on the highest selling artists of 2023 according to chart data. Drake landed at number 2, selling 10 million albums, SZA landing on number 5, selling 5 million albums, and YoungBoy number 6, selling 4.2 million albums. Drake and SZA were the most talked about artists because of their albums. Internet commentary and media press kept their names buzzing, but NBA YoungBoy, who hasn't been getting a lot of press, sold almost just as much as them. Like, the man can't even leave his house. Imagine if he was touring. And it's the same situation as Rod Wave, except he actually does tour. Rod Wave being the few artists who can actually sell out an arena tour. Rod Wave is someone the media literally never talks about. He doesn't do interviews. He's never in a lot of mess. Like, sure, there's a few things that happened in his life that got attention, but he's never in the media with mess. The man literally makes his music and goes home. Rod Wave's last album, Nostalgia, sold 137,000 copies its first week. A man who we never see. That's because he doesn't need to be shoved in our face. As fans, we look for them. Rod Wave constantly drops quality albums. Back to back, he always delivers with his music. I swear, when Ghetto Gospels was released, I felt like that album deserved a Grammy. That was a great album. And that's just my pick, but he drops quality music that you can always revisit. Which brings me to this academics video. There is a problem with female rap, and nobody wants to address the elephant in the room.
I have another Joe Budden clip, which I actually severely disagree with Joe on this. And by the way, Joe my guy, but like, Joe gave a take about, he said the girl rap wave is over. And he also spoke on Cardi B. Listen to his opinion. I'm going to give my take on it afterwards. Here we go.
Y'all ain't going to want to hear it from me, but the girl rapper wave is over. Damn.
Oh, come on.
Just telling you what it is. I'm normally a few months ahead with this stuff. Sometimes a few years ahead with this stuff.
When you say over,
Why do you say that?
nigga, you just said it was
The girl rapper wave is finito.
How you just changed? You just said a couple of weeks ago that it was lit.
No, I said the cream rises to the top. So Latto shall remain.
She will.
Flo Milli shall remain.
Got it.
Rhapsody will always be there, but she wasn't really a part of it. But all of that, go find a girl, send her to Columbia, get it done, put her in the studio with fucking Mike Will or any one of them niggas. All of that, planting the girl in the scene, getting the record, and it taking off. That wave is over. I think labels are looking at it like very few of y'all are selling records. It's too much work to get your coin back. We got to go do brand deals all over the world with y'all. Y'all are expensive. Some of y'all are annoying. And none of these records are working. None of these records are working. Y'all ain't going to want to hear from.
I actually disagree with Joe on this one. I think Joe saying the girl wave is over is, I think he's too early on even saying it's over. I think there's a bigger conversation to be had. And if I had to amend what he had to say is that I think the album is dead. And it's not just females, it's just everyone. The album is dead. I think I understand or I'm getting a semblance of why he might think that girl rap is over. But look at Ice Spice these days. Ice Spice is purposely not releasing an album. She's dropping single after single. Even with Cardi B, I believe Cardi B kind of went into that mode, even though I do think she could drop an album. The point of what I'm trying to say is this. These popular women these days, it's mostly about them dropping singles and not dropping albums. It doesn't mean the wave is over. It means, hey, while you're hot, just keep dropping singles because we don't think people consume your product so much that they'll buy an album full of music. So let's get a song popping. Let's get you dissing each other, whatever the case is. But we don't think that we could drop an album and people consume it like they're consuming maybe one single with a storyline behind it, or just even consuming the rest of your brand. Signing a female rapper is already a task where you know that they're gonna, maybe be profitable outside of music more than inside. So him saying that they gotta like go all over to go get money from these artists, that was always par for the course. The main thing, if you ask me, is just that labels, they signed these artists for albums, but they can't drop an album that will pop. You get what I'm saying? Like, for example, Ice Spice. If Ice Spice drops an album, it will break the facade of how well she's doing because it won't do good. But if she drops a single and it's like super viral this and third, you're going to keep seeing those, top 20 entry songs this and third. And it keeps the facade like, she's super lit. But in reality, it's just not that anymore. You get what I'm saying? Somebody say, you think Joe is right? Well, if you think Joe is right, I'll challenge you by saying this. If girl rapper wave was a thing, because it had to be a thing to be over, which rappers was selling? You can't name me the rapper. They never sold. All of these girl rappers that we're all hyping up, they never sold records. Like, look at City Girls. They never sold records. They sold singles. They kept bringing the quote-unquote anthems. They never sold records. Latto never sold a lot of records. Nobody other than the veterans ever sold a lot of records. So why would you now say it's over now when they never from the get-go sold a lot of records? Cardi and Nicki doesn't count. Cardi and Nicki doesn't count because Nicki's always going to sell records in terms of selling albums, and Cardi will sell albums. But everybody else, like Sexy Red and them, have we seen Sexy Red sales? None of them ever sold. We know them all for hot songs. We don't know them for, this album did good. So why would we now say, the wave is over when, again, if they're hot, they're still dropping. Like, look, Fart is basically like a little anthem. Put It on the Floor was an anthem. Sexy Red be having like these little anthems in between. Glorilla just finally came out with a song that's popping. The problem is that female rap isn't being consumed as albums, other than the top 2 or 3. Cardi's finished, not even close. Not even close. Okay. So I disagree with him on that, but time will tell.
Now, DJ Academics was kind of right, but he missed the mark a little bit. Albums are not dead. Female rap isn't dead. These girls just can't make music. Their singles don't even last long. It sucks that there isn't another outlet that helps music be more significant, like 106 in Park and VH1's music content. Like, it was easier for a song to last just a little bit longer when it was a hit. And there's always the radio, but streaming really did change things. But with streaming, there is a lot of pros to its cons. For the amount of online hype there is, it doesn't translate because these girls just can't make music. The industry is going to look for think pieces as to why these girls can't sell. They don't want to address the fact that these people just cannot make music. They keep throwing money at these girls, plopping them up on every stage, which is okay, but no one listens to them. Like, no one actually listens to these girls' music. Their albums have virtually no replay value. Bringing it back to NBA Youngboy, one thing I'll definitely have to say about him was during the time in 2019, like 2018, 2019, when he was getting a lot of bad press, like he was literally acting like a shithead, let's be honest. But his fans loved him and adored him, not for his singles that people thought was degenerate trash, but because his albums, if you actually listen to the album, each song is different. He's a really versatile artist. That's why NBA Youngboy would never lose fans. And that's why he always had fans. Even though people questioned why did he have fans if he's such an asshole. It's because he can make some music. And that's what people care about, if we're being honest. When Beyonce said that people don't make albums, I think she also meant that some artists don't have the talent either.
People don't make albums anymore. They don't make albums. They just try to sell a bunch of little quick singles and they burn out and they put out a new one and they burn out and they put out a new one. People don't even listen to a body of work anymore. I think people are so brainwashed. You get up in the morning, you click on the computer, you see all these pictures and it's all you think of is the picture and the image that you see all day, every day. And you don't see the human form. And I think when Nina Simone put out music, you loved her voice. That's what she wanted you to love. That was her instrument. But you didn't get brainwashed by her day-to-day life and what her child is wearing and who she's dating and, all the things that really, it's not your business, and it shouldn't influence the way you listen to the voice and the art, but it does.
Even if you do have the talent, for example, an artist like Chloe Bailey, where we can all agree the talent is definitely there, I'll just say this. Janet Jackson didn't become Janet Jackson in one album. It took growth and finding herself as an artist. I can definitely say that albums are not dead. People wanting to listen to music isn't dead. Victoria Monet, who's been grinding in the industry for years, I can say has been taking notes. Her album's replay value is insane. From my personal experience, Jaguar 1 and 2, I kid you not, I listened to the albums for like 5 months. 5 months straight, and I will keep going back because of how great the albums were. Albums will never die. The industry had just gotten lazy and wants you to believe that these artists are selling by pumping money into them. They plop them in every interview, every appearance, every performance. They can't recoup their money because they're trying to sell these artists as brands, but when it's time to make money and sell albums, they can't because these brands aren't providing quality product. People buy albums, they buy tickets, they buy merch, but only when the talent is there. There's a lot of excuses being made for certain artists. Like, labels are actually being generous when it comes to record sales nowadays, because any artist doing 20K a week would have been dropped like a potato. Now, instead of clapping for the artists that can actually sell, like NBA Youngboy, SZA, Rod Wave, we're clapping for 20K. Like, that's actually an insult. Your music is so subpar that 20K is good enough. Yeah, okay. Well, that concludes today's video. Make sure you guys comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think down below. Toodles!